Ladies and gentlemen, it is the solstice, Ian Streets. It's the summer solstice today, my friend.
Is it now?
The brightest day of the year. The day that the Wonkies will go to Stonehenge, and ancestrally the day that my people would leave to go and take new lands. I don't know what your people did, but my people.
Well, I'm going to bring some darkness to this light.
Yep.
I am nothing if not a man of my word. For the people who are only listening, you get to be spared this spectacle. For the people on the YouTube, am I not wearing
It's every day, bro. Clip it.
every day,
Jakey.
bro, Jake Paul t-shirt?
Oh, look at that.
My soul has died inside, but I have fulfilled my word.
What's on the back?
Nothing. Thank you.
Oh, got it. They missed out on a proper trick there. I mean, you look very handsome in it. You look very handsome in it. You could definitely wear that to a soiree.
It took so long to put it on because my head was just hanging.
Yeah. My 5-year-old does that when you're trying to get her dressed as well. Well, speaking of insanity, I know we're a little bit late to this one, but I want to talk to you and talk at you even about the Fury Wilder press conference, because it was weird. Right, and we haven't had a chance. We had that lit fire flames, which apparently means that you can't use Instagram, cheers Instagram, because apparently that's aggressive or something. When I did the thing that said lit fire flames, whatever. Anywho,
did it get flagged?
Yeah,
haters,
proper haters. But yeah, like it's a weird press conference, right? Respect Fury come in shirtless, doesn't give a fuck. The geezer just doesn't give a like. He has a level of back fat that is enviable. It really is. Like, no matter what he does, he's got that just like two fucking turkeys hanging out the back. Respect. Right? That's yeah. It was very confusing for me because Tay-Tay's had how long talking all of this crazy?
Yep.
And, you know, there's part of me where I'm just like, look, I understand that you're not feeding into what Fury needs, because if you feed into it, it just grows and grows and grows. And I get it. And there's only one of them that's going to be getting wound up. And there's only one of them that's ever likely to lose their shit and potentially try and like have a bit of a tussle. And it's not Tyson. Tyson ain't doing that for free.
Yeah.
Right? I get it. But then you've been talking shit for 8 months, 9 months, wild allegations. You've cleared out your whole team. And now's the time. And you don't say anything. But with Sky Sports in the background, you're talking like a creepy fucking cult leader, doing full semi-interview saying you're going to bang out AJ. Like, it's a mess.
Bro, like, listen, I don't buy into the whole, unless it's 24/7 or all access, because those things are just epicness. Watching the Gervonta Davis, Mario Barrios one at the minute.
I haven't watched that one yet.
Fucking good.
Yeah.
Love Tank. But unless it's that, this whole pre-fight shit, we watch the fights for the fights. I don't need to hear what the people say often. And that's why, yeah, we'll get to this in a bit. This is one thing. For that reason that a lot of people do, I have to say, you can't deny these fuckers that have a massive following, because it is prize fighting at the end of the day. They're fighting for the prize, and the prize comes from the amount of people watching it. And if people can't sell it with their mouths, the unfortunate fact is they don't sell to as many people. And I hate that, because you're a fighter. Like, you're not a fucking politician or lawyer or some job where you got to talk a lot of shit. You fight. And you know, your Bud Crawfords, Spence, people like that, they're not going to be entertaining the masses with their mouth. Who gives a fuck? When they get in the ring, they're there to bang. So they
do conduct themselves in a certain way. In like he dropped some bars, didn't he? He had his little poem, fine, right? That was all good. But
what
go on.
What I was going to say though is, I'm not coming at it from so you need to hype. But if I was Tyson, I'd be pissed, because if we're going to split share of this, I'm doing all the fucking work. Like, you legit came to, this is part of your obligation And to not say, it's like a child when they're like, I'm not saying, you know,
Mm.
and they're fucking, what are you talking about? Like you said, it makes it so much worse. He's been talking relentless shit to anyone that would listen, even people that wouldn't. And now this is the time, like not then, that's not the time. Now is the time, stum, because
Do you remember the video like at the end of Fight Club with the skyline in the background? And you couldn't
oh
kill
yeah,
this proud Nubian
Fight
king.
Club the movie, yeah,
Yeah, not Triller.
yeah.
Shout out Triller. Still don't know what you are. Although before I did this, there was a video on the Triller feed, and I clicked on it because the bird was a fucking piece,
Nice.
doing dance moves like a TikTok thing. She had 28 million followers. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like, what is this? I still don't know. Fuck knows. Sorry, please continue.
Um, Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. It's just like I think that's fucked, and I'm not even there for all this hype shit.
Mm,
But that's disrespectful as fuck. Like I liked at least Diaz when he's like, I'm not there to fucking talk. I want to
yep.
fight. It didn't turn up and then got a massive fight. Actually lost his shot the first time. Remember, they didn't
Yeah.
let him fight. They were like, this is part of it. If you're not here for that, you're not here for the fight. Fuck off. And then he came back and he's just like, he still doesn't want to be there, but at least he says something to when the person I get in a way, maybe let's give him the press if he's sick of the press asking questions. But the person conducting the whole little thing, she was speaking directly to Deontay, like
Yeah.
touching him and shit, like, hey.
Deontay.
And then Malik's having to, that looks just fucking, because that just shows that he's in your head. It's giving power. And then, okay, yeah, he can't go any further because then you've just tuned out. But it makes it ridiculous. He's like,
Yeah.
look, we've heard this all before, this whole decapitation thing, which is true. He didn't say anything new. I get it. If you want to just prove it in the ring, say that. Just like, listen, time for talking's done. I'd at least, that's a pretty good
my
line.
problem, because everything about this and listen, you are, what is he, 6'8", and like he's one of the people that legitimately can kill you with
Yeah.
single shot. Like Mortal's dead, right?
Yeah.
To say that he's scared is a mad thing, but
Yeah.
the actions that he did were bitch made, right?
Yeah.
You can't talk that amount of shit in the build up and then say nothing. You can't. You just can't conduct it that way. You can't have your boy talking for you,
Yeah.
jumping in, because he was talking fucking mentalness as well.
Yeah. Which makes it worse. And that's why it's kind
He's
of
got
like
amen tattooed right above his cock.
when like Danny Garcia shit, where their dad is saying it. That's even like, oh, bro, you still got your dad fighting. Like,
But that's been like that since day one.
Yeah.
Deontay has
and at
talked
least then he's saying something.
furious shit though. Deontay
Yeah.
has been wild.
Yeah.
Do you not remember like the second Stavern fight? He didn't really say much about that, but he was just literally like, I'm going to destroy you.
Yeah.
Like, that's that.
Yeah. And I get like not wanting in case it doesn't go his way and you don't want to feed the flames and have more ammunition, but that's part of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like
You didn't mind the first and second time.
that's it. And that's what you got to give. So, because also, if like Manny loses, he's not talking relentless shit. So it's like, okay, he went out on his shield. When Connor loses, you're like, you talk all that shit. But one thing you got to give him, when he loses, he fucking takes it. Like, yeah, well,
Respect. Next time. Chael was the same.
Fuck yeah.
Chael
He
was
knows how
epic.
it goes.
Yeah, he completely understands. He takes an L, he turns it into a W, off he goes. Right. That's for me the most interesting thing, because if it's a repeat of the second fight and he gets steamrolled, you got to think that that's the end of him, right? If he just like throws caution, does those 2-3 rounds like he did with Stavern, which was just destruction, right? There's only, if you can catch him, if you're fast enough to outmove and outmaneuver him and you're just bombing him, if you can do it and it works, cool. That would be the thing. Like, that's what I want to see, the microphone. Here you go, Deontay. Now you're going to say something. But I think you go even crazier.
Because do you think he's going to win and be silent? No, he's going to go back to chatting mad shit. And then what? Then what was all this about then? Because we're going to have number 4. What are you going to do then? Are you not going to talk? You just won, so you only talk when you win? Can you not handle losses? Like, I don't know.
I categorically, I'm going on the record now between you and I and the 7 listeners. I want Deontay to win. Right? I want Deontay to win. I have no issue with Tyson is a fantastic heavyweight, a fantastic talent. I don't like how this has all played out. It's given me the ump. I had shirts planned. I had tech to buy. I was getting ready, and I feel that we've been robbed. And I think that Deontay is the only one that can avenge it.
Do you think it avenges it? I think it totally fucks it. I think we're just thrown into a massive, then there'll be another one. Like, put it this way. I think if Fury gets through Wilder, AJ gets through Usyk, that fight does happen
Yep,
next.
December. Yeah.
I do think that.
Mm.
I mean, all it takes is one spanner and everyone will be like, no, don't need to fight this person, that person until
There's
they
two
beat the.
massive spanners.
Yeah.
Two very dangerous spanners. Who's to say Usyk won't box his fucking face off?
That's the thing.
Who's to say? He ain't that small. I keep stressing he ain't that small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Bellew was bigger than Hay.
Yeah.
And Usyk was slightly bigger than Bellew. So what are we moaning about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one give a fuck about. Yeah. Anywho, should we do some fights?
Let's
very
do some
quickly. Like, rate, share, follow, review, all of that stuff.
Subscribe, send the smoke signal, send up the bat
Bosh.
all that.
Patreon.com fighting words, no G, we're the only G's. Bosh, haven't been practicing that. Said that the other day and someone said you rehearsed that and I was like, I'm just 2 energy drinks in, son. YouTube, fighting words, Instagram,
fighting words.
getting bigger on the numbers. All fighting words. Sometimes I use Twitter, but I still don't really understand it. But that's also fighting words. It's still long.
It's a struggle.
But yeah, we are closing in. I approximate within 2 weeks we would have hit 100,000 career downloads in sub 1 year. That ain't bad, you know.
Thank you, peoples.
Yeah, sub 100 episodes. Bomb. Thank you for all. Anywho, where do you want to? Should we go on?
No, I was going to say a bit of a tangent, but just because it popped up on my beloved BK TV app.
Yeah.
Did you see the bare knuckle MMA?
I saw clips. Because
okay, I'm going to be honest. I was so pumped, for Street Jesus to have his promotional debut.
Mm-hmm.
Second, Felony Charles Bennett versus Jason Knight. I mean, what a fucking war that had written all over it. Gonna be honest, not once have I ever fast forwarded through a bare knuckle fighting championship fight.
Did you give it a zip?
I gave it a bit of a zip. As soon as it started going to the grappling, I was just like, and like I was like, what I was waiting for was some like ground and pound bare knuckle or something, but it I know it sounds bad, but when the gloves come off, it's I don't know.
I was about to say, I wonder if MMA without. I mean, because look, hey, UFC, the early 1s, 2s, 3s, it was fun and it was new and it was all that. It was only when old Tank put the fucking glove on that it started to get a little bit wild, right? Because them boys were breaking their hands, for lols. Do you remember when they used to kick each other with shoes
grappling wasn't high level, you know, like Hoist was just destroying the game and everyone else just bought a gi and was just like, fucking try a headlock.
Ken had a couple of moves, didn't he? Ken and Frank, they had a couple of moves.
Of course,
they could do a headlock and they could do a noogie. I would probably say that it may need some ironing out.
Yeah, so it's just like it started strong. Like Bennett cracked his nose, and Knight's face has been through the wars.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh shit, how's this gonna play out?" And then he got a hold of him. I'm like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure I had this sub." And I was so, you know, maybe I'm just being a hater, but to me, it didn't have that same fuck as when they just stay standing with the gloves off.
So I like that BKFC has said, yes, we will put you on our platform.
Yes, I like that.
If they're clever, they have a word with King Dave and get Lethway on there as well. And if they want to make themselves the bare knuckle equivalent to the UFC with Fight Pass, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
Because Lethway, the only problem is that Lethway probably is likely to cannibalize BKFC because Lethway is actually a lot more violent and a lot more entertaining if you
Yeah.
can watch it. But the
Yeah.
events are so few and far between, aren't they?
Exactly.
Let's be honest. I'm still a little bit creeped out that they have professional ear biters.
Isn't that
Right?
insane?
That's wonky. I just have all of this stuff like you remember like Karate Kid with the wax on, wax off, and
Yeah.
he's just nibbling ears to a certain ancient technique that the family has learnt.
Like the first guy that was like, I know how to wake him up.
I mean, it
Nibble on
would
his fucking ear. Like,
fucking wake you up, wouldn't it? You'd wake up incensed. You bust a vessel in your head. You I can't do this. I was going to say, shall we start with the least highbrow card with the Chavezes and Silva?
I mean, I am so fucking excited for that card. So let's go.
I mean, Chavez Jr. It's very hard, isn't it? Anderson, like Anderson. Anderson did exactly what I like. Who didn't think that Anderson would do that?
This is what's really surprised me. But I have to say, with a lot of these crossover, that was what it should be like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like we get all these weird crossover where it's like, okay, you've got Askren representing MMA and boxing, but do you really like, or is that just a super high level MMA fighter that isn't a striker doing a striking sport? That's very different.
Yep.
Anderson has hands. Anderson has boxed previously, right?
Fact.
As a Muay Thai fighter, incredible. He is like a striking god. So I was so pumped for that. Now, normally you'd say, yeah, but Chavez is a world champion boxer.
It's also Chavez.
But it's also it's also Chavez Jr. And I mean, to not make weight for this, are you fucking kidding me?
Geezer doesn't give a fuck. Like, imagine how much, like, he made so much cash off of the name Chavez. And yes, he got some wild decision. Yes, he's like his career is what you would go as far to say it was fluffed, right?
Yeah.
It was very fluffed up.
Yeah.
But there was a little period where he was world level for a bit.
Yeah, he had the tools, he had the attribute, he just didn't have the fucking ethic. Like having Freddie train you at your house. Are you fucking kidding?
That's really jarred you, isn't it?
So much. Like to have, you hear like Buddy, how far he'd travel to go, that's part of it. It's like, how fucking bad do you want this? When you're like, because everyone can do it when you feel good. That's what separates the people. It's when you feel like shit. Like, how willing are you to get your fucking ass down to the gym and put in that work? If that, it's like, oh, I'll do it if you come to my house. It's like, this isn't like a client. You're a world level athlete. This is
not
one of
how
the
it
best
works.
people to do it. What the fuck?
I thought a split decision was very generous.
Even the commentary when they're like, "Oh, Anderson's unorthodox," and it's like, "Well, he is, but not here. He's boxing beautifully." Like, this
what was that bird going on about?
Right?
The bird was just who was she?
I needed to look it up because obviously there's been like, I'm assuming she must have been one of the. I didn't recognize the voice.
Yeah.
So I'd have to put a name to it. I did want to look that up and just be like, why are you hating, man? Come on. Anderson's doing the business. There is no way that was a split decision. He boxed his face off. And that's the thing. It's
he
not
was
like
moving lovely.
It was a lucky punch.
Yeah.
It was lush. Hey, I'm going to say it now because I've been talking about the whole Roy him fight for time and it got extra work. I don't think Roy wants that now.
No, Roy's talking about Carl Froch. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Let's not.
Let's not.
Let's not, Roy. Let's not, Carl. Carl, you've had your teeth done, your nose done. You've had it all sorted. You're looking good. Leave it.
Yeah.
Move on.
Because the thing with Roy is there will always, and that's why people are like, they look at the end. No. You got to distinguish. Roy is one of the best to ever set foot in that ring. The person now is Roy, like still, he's a fighter at heart, but that's not the representation of it. So this representation of Roy, like against Mike.
It's weird. He has, but he has the reverse of Mike. Because no matter what Mike does, to the day he dies, everyone will remember that Mike with a neck that was 35 inches wide, tracking that poor dude with his eyes. Yeah. And just about to collapse his forehead. To the day he dies. Doesn't matter that like the
Yeah.
Stanza 2 and 3 of his career, I mean, they weren't great
Yeah.
for good reason, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, but for Roy, all of his career was sensational until the last bit, which he was doing like the senior laps of honor.
So true. And everyone wants to remember that.
Yeah. It's because he did a rap song, I think, which was a banger.
It was
That's
a
still a
banger,
banger.
man. It popped up today. I think they're going to make more music. I'm like, listen,
I,
you can. You can. I'm there for it.
oh, uh, and then senior. Senior, I mean, had a big moment, didn't he? Like getting Canelo up was massive. That was a huge, huge move. And
Can we just say the day
how
before?
happy
I'm
was
not
he?
sure if it's Father's Day there, but the day before Father, that epic photo of him just embracing what should be his. You know, he asked for a paternity test when Chavez Jr. started pulling all this shit. You know, he was like, "You sure?"
So the thing is like for someone, I mean, because he lived in a train car. You know what I mean? Like he lived in a train car. Yes, he got a little bit into the old blizzy blizz when he made his cash and done some wild, wild shit. He
As
kind of
if you're
earned
not
the
gonna.
yeah, as if you're not gonna. It's a very different time. He basically lived the narco life, but
Yep.
his son never did, right?
Yes.
And I think that will always, always eat away at him. It's that classic. It's like the classic Eubanks.
Yeah.
Remember in the sporting life, you look where you've grown up. You don't have it in you. Mike Tyson, the same. Says it
My
about his
favorite
kids.
interview ever, where he just starts pissing himself laughing. They
Yeah,
can't do this because they're going to come up against someone like me. It's
yeah.
true.
It's
Like,
exactly what it is. You're going to get humiliated by someone like me, and you're like, well, yeah. And the thing is, he doesn't care. That's the
yeah,
problem. Is that Junior doesn't seem to get like that's bad. You know, I mean, what is? I mean, senior, junior, even. What is he like? 60-5 or whatever his record is.
yeah.
It's
He's a bunch of fights.
whatever.
I think
Anderson's
it was
two and
60
one.
total. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how did that even get sanctioned? I didn't think that would be allowed.
Hey, man, if a debut fighter can fight someone who's 49-0, then
It's
for
an
sure.
exhibition, though, weren't it?
No,
Oh
Connor.
no, the Connor one, yeah, yeah. Someone got an envelope. Someone for sure got an envelope on that one. But yeah, like Anderson looked good. Anderson now has many options should he want to continue because you've got Vitor fighting Oscar, which is way better than the real Tarzan, right?
Way better than real Tarzan. But I did see today Vitor saying that it's going to do it's going to break all the records, and I was like, I'd settle down a little bit there. I don't think so.
Yeah,
And also
relax, Vitor.
was like, without Oscar, there'd be no Floyd. And it's like, I mean, I get that that's what
Strong,
catapulted him to being
strong.
money made, but I'm pretty sure that would have happened anyway. But
Mm.
okay. And he's like, and without Vitor, there'd be no Connor. And it took me a second. I was like, wait, what?
Which Connor?
McGregor.
McGregor.
And
How's
I
that
was like,
work?
oh, I had to take a
Well,
little. I read it. And I was like,
maybe like it's a reach.
yeah, what he's saying is like, because he was part of the making the UFC
Yeah,
big,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
It's a reach. It's a
I'm like,
reach.
ooh, yeah. I mean, I get you. Like, look, the vets deserve all the respect, and we're here for that. That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
But also, it's like, come on. Also, Oscar talking about this is going to be the biggest comeback in boxing history when I fight Floyd.
definitely isn't. Definitely
For
won't.
sure. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
Ali had his license stripped for fighting for civil rights.
Mm,
They took away his ability to earn income, and he
mm,
come back and fought Joe fucking Frazier. Are you kidding? Like, two undefeated champions in your welcome back fight. Someone who
mm.
is also having to support you. Fight like that is epic.
It,
We can go this year like Tyson, whenever in the last couple of years, Tyson Fury coming back from weighing a shitload, having mental health problems. That's a big comeback.
it's a bigger comeback from being a multimillionaire, doing all of the blizz,
Yeah,
having a massive promotional company, never leaving boxing as such.
yeah.
It's 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 certainly not the biggest comeback, Oscar, as such. But I mean, like Oscar had something to do with Affliction, didn't he? The Affliction MMA thing, where Vitor was like he was juiced to his tits, but he was doing well in that. I'm pretty sure he had something to do with it.
Well, I know. Oscar did his own thing, and he did Chuck versus Tito
Mm.
number
Yeah, but that's
4.
when he was licking his own eyebrows afterwards, weren't it?
Yeah,
It
it
was a
was.
great.
And he didn't know their names, and it was just cringe. It was just like, oh.
Yeah, he was jawing big, weren't he? Shout out to Oscar. I mean, that fight that doesn't happen. By the way, there's no way that happens.
Calling it, huh? The high
No, I don't.
chance.
I just cannot see. Like, I mean, you've seen Vitor.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, you can't test him because he's fully back on the gear as he should be, and he should never be
Yeah,
allowed
I
to
love
stop.
I love TRT Vitor. He's
Yep.
just like,
He should never ever be allowed to stop. You can see in like his face just goes zonk. You're like,
yeah.
cool. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Oscar on the other, like Oscar's gonna look. I tell you what, Oscar's gonna look like Camacho Jr. Like, because hey, don't do them shorts for a start. Get a spray tan. Let's not have the white bits hanging out. But he still had some moves, the boy, didn't he?
He did. Chavez Senior looked fucking phenomenal.
Chavez Senior looked decent, didn't he? Like Chavez Senior, he still got some pop to the boy as well, isn't he?
Mate, them body shots. And he was there for it. When he challenged him to take the head guard off, he was fucking like, he's going to take the gloves off in a minute. This man has had over 100 professional fights. He doesn't give a fuck.
Imagine how Junior felt though when he had Canelo.
It was such a moment. Like,
so grim,
like,
wasn't it?
Oh, this is like, I was just like, his son literally just fought. And it's just like,
I wonder if they get along. Do you reckon it's like a Tom and Chet Hanks situation? Do you reckon it's like that where he's just like, Chet, are you still doing patois? And he's like, no, doing White Boy Summer. And it's like, oh, all right then. Well, that's good. We're doing just White Boy Summer. And he's like, no, Black King and Black Queen Summer, obviously, and Brown Boy Summer as well. What do you want? It must be like that. It must be like quite a sketchy relationship. He must look at him and just go, you just fucked this.
Yeah, our name was everything. I took it from nothing to everything, and you're fucking it up again.
Speaking of, how much autism does Eubanks Jr. have?
All of it.
Because
and then some.
That video had so many slams, it was unreal. So there's a video of Bo Hightower, who's the chiropractor guy for all of the Jackson lot, and he's the one with the chisels, and he does the epic adjustments, and there's always like tens screaming, and John Jones getting his knee popped and ankles. Did one for Eubanks Jr. Number one, Eubanks Jr. 100% didn't know who he was, and he didn't know who Eubanks Jr. was. So immediately it was frosty. The small talk was ferocious, right? Where Bo Hightower at least is trying to talk to him about the anatomy of himself, and he's just giving him nothing whatsoever. And the best part was at the end where he said, so like, yeah, just tell the people like who you are, what your Instagram handle's in. Do you have any merch like water bottles and stuff? And he's just like, yeah. I got water bottles, I think, and t-shirts, and koozies. That's what they were called, koozies. I got Eubanks Jr. koozies that I'm banging out. Hey, it was so sore, weren't it?
Yeah.
I might watch that again before I go to bed because it was just
just pick me up.
Can you imagine a chiropractor telling you when you tell people that you are the greatest fighter the world has ever known, and the only coach that can ever get through to you is also widely regarded as, if not the one of the most explosive, greatest fighters ever. And then you got some geezer who's not even a proper fucking doctor who's got chisels banging you in the head with chisels, telling you that you're allowed to promote your merch on his channel and you've allowed him to touch you. Oh, it was so good. You got any mouse mats or something? What are you selling? Mouse mats. Wicked. Yeah. Mouse mats, yoga mats. Oh. T-shirts, hoodies. What else you got? You got beanies? It's warm, isn't it? Yeah, we're in Vegas. It's quite warm in Vegas. How do you know Roy? It's just like he's just like he's been training him. He's been training me. And you're like, oh yeah, how long for? And he's like, oh, like 4 months and stuff. Got nothing else to say, really.
That was the best.
So good. How much did he enjoy banging that thing in the back of his head. Because you could tell he loved that. Like that is the only video I've ever seen of Bo Hightower where it's that dry. And I
Yeah.
assume that I would imagine that he's got serious bants and he's just watched that and gone, what's this fucking geezer?
Yeah.
I've got to put this out. This is wild. He's either missing a personality or he's got a lick of the tism. There's something off.
I mean, it could be the killer combo.
It could, oh God, could you imagine if after all this time, like we were just giving him so much shit. You got KG calling him a Chrysler 300 and we found out he had full false tism.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can we backdate this and just beep?
absolutely not. Not even a little bit. It's fine. It's totally fine. Right. So we've done the tribute to the Kings, whatever that was. I'm not sure who the Kings were as such. Well, Chavez Senior is a king.
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Anderson, you give him a
Anderson's
king. Camacho probably is a king. It's only Junior that's not. And Algieri did a good job. I liked Algieri on that one. Have you frozen? Or are you just...
No.
Okay, deadly still for a second.
I didn't see Algieri.
No, Algieri was commentating.
Oh, got you. I was like, what the fuck? Because I knew he was fighting soon. I thought that's on the Triller card.
That's August.
Yeah.
Apparently. Tank reckons that that's because they didn't sell enough tickets, that they've COVID'd that off.
Oh, yeah, I heard. Well, it popped up about Tank, but I didn't listen to what he said.
But also the ticket prices have on that Triller card as well.
Oh, really?
So the ringside ticket prices were $17.50 and now they're $400. Just saying.
That's one thing I got to give insider boxing goss from boxing. It's usually bang on. Some sport, it's just mad, crazy shit. When you hear stuff from actual it's usually that's what happened.
Also, you must be the fucking undisputed king at statues. There is simply no one better. Was it part of your upbringing or something? Just like someone would just scream freeze, and if you didn't freeze, you got waterboarded.
I don't know if you guys have that game here, like Dead Lions, but it is fucking genius. We used to have to play it a lot when you're kids.
Sleeping lions.
That was probably more.
Aussie. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't say dead here. No one dies. You know that.
Yeah, where you realize that the teachers are just lazy fucks that need a break. I get it. I get it.
I remember vividly being told that I had to lay on the table in primary school with my face on the table for what felt like a long time. I don't know how long it was. Yeah.
Is this going to take a dark turn or?
No, I don't think so. I don't think anything happened in primary school. Well, not in school. I got smacked in the face by a bird called Miss Digweed a couple of times.
Yeah, this is one thing kids don't realize. Teachers used to be able to fucking hit you.
Mate, I've given up ever since I heard a 31-year-old tell me that their dad was pissed how much they spent on food this week. And I was like, how would he know? She's like, well, he pays for my groceries. What?
Oh, dear.
I've never been the same since. It was 2 years ago. I was just, what's your dad buying? I don't understand. You're married.
Fuck it, oh.
Anywho. Top rank?
Yes. Yeah, let's do it.
Lopez Dugobi. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see that one, no.
Scrappy. It's a good fight. Yeah. It's a good fight. Ward had it on Lopez's side.
Yep.
Dugobi, like a little hench Ghanaian dude, was just dropping bombs. It was a good fight. It's fun. Scraps. Did you watch Michaela Mayer?
No, I've seen the highlights of it, but I haven't seen the whole card. I haven't seen the whole fight.
Again, Michaela Mayer in it. She's Aggie. She just.
I really like her. I
like her too. I'm still trying to figure out if she's a lesbian for whatever it's worth. I don't know. I can't.
She'll get extra points if she is.
It doesn't matter, right? It's all a rich tapestry. Gender is a construct. Reality is a suggestion / perspective. But I'm still trying to figure it out. But she could be. She could not be. Whatever. She seems cool.
Yeah. Cool
and then Inoue.
Mm.
You saw Inoue.
on like 25 repeats.
What have you been doing with yourself, Ian Streets?
I love Inoue, bro. Like,
He just doesn't care, does he?
it's the confidence in the
Mm.
power, but still so composed. Like, he doesn't waste anything.
He's a weird mix because little dudes can't normally crack like that. But he's kind of like Triple G-ish, isn't he? Like he's got better technique than Triple G. He's got that
Yeah.
sort of like attacker, boxer, puncher stance. Obviously, he's Japanese from a long-standing warrior town because I learnt that from the Top Rank build-up program about him, Zama, right? And his dad is just like, it's just classic Japanese. It's just craft, craft, craft.
Yeah.
Everything he does is near perfect technique.
Exactly. Even when he gets back into his stance, it is
Plus,
fucking.
he must be weirdly strong and he's weirdly
Oh,
explosive, mixed with the perfect technique. Like he's an animal.
bro, when you jump weight divisions and still starch people, because when people go
Yeah.
out, they're fucking out.
He can't go much. I don't know how much further he can go because he's only
Yeah.
5'5". Like when you saw him and Michaela Mayer next to each other at the weigh-ins, it was like significant difference between the two. She's 5'9".
He doesn't look like he's been touched ever.
No. Well, he got his cheekbone broken by Donaire.
Yeah. And even
nose.
then he was glistening.
Mate, how much of a fucking... Do you reckon Donaire's ever going to get... Like, I know he's a known quantity and I know he's a G and I know all of that stuff, but like he's dived in for Rigo for August 14th. He's going to try and unify the belts and then he's like, I want Inoue again. Like, big.
Yeah. I mean,
Respect.
fucking love Donaire. Don't want him to do it, if I'm honest. Like, it's
Really?
just... Yeah, like...
I think he's due a swan song.
But Inoue, like, it's one of them ones where it's like... There's some... For example, I feel the same with Manny and Spence. There's some... Just when there's... When you're a legend and then you have all that thing and then it's just like... At that time of the career, it's just the wrong time to catch the other person. And he went... That fight with Inoue, I feel, is a swan song because that was... incredible. He's had that amazing victory since.
Yep.
You're good. You know what I mean? But like,
why not? Keep going. You're only 38, dude. He's 2 years younger than you.
Yeah, I know, but Inoue is a fucking...
But what I mean, but there's no downside, is there? Say he gets through John Reed, whatever his name is, and he's now unified champ, and you got an undisputed. Like the downside is we get a new undisputed. There is no downside. Also,
there's a downside fighting the monster, man. But Donaire made it through the last time.
He did.
He did a great account of himself. Like, fingers crossed no one gets hurt or anything like that, but that's my only concern.
Gonna say this as well. This is probably the first time I'm gonna openly want Manny Pacquiao to win.
I 1,000,000% want Manny to win that. And I think he can. I
think he does.
Think he can. But it's just showing for him to be doing that now is incredible. And Floyd's like, he does
it's normally money, isn't it? It's normally, but it's not. Like you can
that's the
just
thing.
wants
Floyd
it.
tried to say that. He's like, Manny needs to fight. I do it because I want to. It's like, I don't think so. Like Manny would make bank because I'm gonna say it, he deserves to be, but Spence isn't a big pay-per-view draw.
Of course,
like it's Manny that's bringing the name, and Manny could fight like anyone, and people will tune in to watch.
Also, your money goes a long way in the Philippines, dude. When you've done what $400-500 million, I know he's had some tax problems and some gambling issues and all this other stuff,
and 500 people to support. But
but if he's got $5 million in the Philippines,
he's not struggling. Come on,
he's fine, boy. Also, Top Rank with this new Sky Sports shit, they're putting all of these like epic promo shows out. There's a Lomachenko one called Rebooted. There's a Inoue one. There's a Michaela Mayer one where she was sparring with Ward. Like, decent. I'm about it.
We need that.
We always need the story. Do you watch Charlo?
Yep.
Charlo was good, right? I thought
it was a good fight.
I thought he was going to kill a guy. Like that 6th round. I'm not sure how Montel got out of that because he was like on his heels, his knees were gone. He was muffed.
Fuck me though. His 8th and 9th round, he did.
He bust his hand though, didn't he? Have you seen
Mm.
Charlo's hand?
No.
There's a picture of like Charlo like this, and one of them looks like an inflated washing up glove. He's like, his right hand got absolutely demolished. But like again, Charlo, like it's hard not to love the Charlos.
Yeah.
They just literally are just balling out of control, wild shit. The little one who's not the little one is talking about like legit gang shit. There's one on the Instagram today. I've got people that will go to prison for me now. You want to
For
slap me?
life.
Let's see what happens. I've been doing this shit before boxing. You're like, bruv, you started boxing at 6. What are you talking about? You're on gang shit at 6. Okay, fine. You were that baby that Dave Chappelle was talking about all them years ago. Fine. But again, like, I want to fight the winner of Murata Triple G. You're like, well, Triple G and Murata are doing a double header and they're not fighting until
December.
the literal last day of the year. So make the boo-boo fight. Make like who are you gonna? We got a lot of champions. Fine, all for that. Let's have the 5 champions, 4 champions, 4.5 champs. Right? Let's have the 4.5 champs. All good. But I like to see the champs actively at least trying to just if they're not collecting belts, then they're making a pretty clear statement that they are the one of the division.
Yeah.
You always knew that Floyd was the one of the division.
Yeah.
You know, you always knew that. Like now, heavyweight, for example, we know that AJ is the higher ranked because he has 3 titles instead of 1, but we don't know if he is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah? Every division should have that. We know that NUA is the one at Bantam. We know that. We know that Canelo is the one at super middle.
Whatever way he chooses.
Arguably could be the one potentially at like light heavy. Like
that's terrifying, by the way.
Yeah. But we don't know who the one is anymore because it was Triple G.
Yeah.
But he's nearly 40 now.
Yeah.
You know? And he hasn't fought since. Also, shout out that whatever his name is, Sleza Meza, the dishwasher repairman. He didn't look that bad against Moanga, did he?
Bro, and that boy can take a fucking punch.
So that says to me that, again, old Gennady got a little bit more grief because that geezer was ready for that fight. That was his shot. And he jumped in 2 weeks' notice and put out a performance like that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think that geezer was underrated.
Oh, for sure.
Like, he done himself no injustice.
It's the same with Montiel. Like, when people haven't heard of them, they think they're shit. And it's like, well, no, it doesn't work like that.
I mean, Triple G did make him look shit.
Yeah, but that's also what a champ does, right? Like, Floyd makes Canelo look shit.
Yeah, he did. And Manny. They're on that DAZN card. We're all over the place today, but I don't give a fuck. On that DAZN card, there was also... Ooh! We need... Yeah. So, at what point would you ever put your 7-0 up-and-coming blue-chip prospect? That boy is thick, isn't he? Like, he is the epitome of, like...
Listen, Beck's a monster, and he was the favorite.
He is, but you know what he looks like? He looks like that young phase you go to where you go to the gym and you are literally bicep, pecs. That's it, right? And you're bulky as fuck because you think that pasta gives you energy and you just don't understand the whole shredding thing. You're just in a perpetual bulk. That's what he looks like he is. And he is explosive as shit. And the most Uzbek I've ever seen a human look Uzbek.
Yeah.
He's
and his
like
body shots look like no thank you.
Like he just he looked like the Karate Kid, didn't he? The way he was bouncing, he looked like Machida the way he was bouncing in and out.
Yeah,
reckon that. But then I still don't understand why Gabe. Like Gabe's always in a row,
mate. If you do not love Gabe, you're a straight up hater. I
love his voice. About him, I just love his voice.
Just fucking, and he's there for it. And yeah, he looks the shit. He looks exactly like a fighter. Like
he looks how he sounds. He's fun to listen to. considering the wars that he's been in, very articulate,
Yeah.
very clear. Like there's too much usage in this day and age of people referring to themselves and others referring to people as throwbacks. But but Gabe pretty much is. Like
Yeah.
you can't tell me that Gabe isn't. Like that he's one of those
He's
ones
like a
where you
gutty.
yeah, he is. That he's just one of those fighters where you're just like you are that you can't do anything else. You couldn't
Yeah.
work in an office, it'd fall apart, right? You just can't. You couldn't be doing like spreadsheets. Just wouldn't happen. You'd constantly and perpetually. Imagine Tony Bellew doing like a HR function. Like it just wouldn't mesh, would it?
Customer service on the
Yeah,
phone.
yeah. All the fuck are you telling that fucking? You're like, geez, relax. I'm just here to say good morning, son. Yeah. Yeah, he's just one of them. Bellew is another one. Bellew could not have had another job unless it was like security or an enforcer or something.
Yeah.
Something to hurt someone or squaddy. Nigel Benn, another one. What the fuck could that geezer have done other
Yeah.
than time? Right? He would have just ended up doing naughty shit. Like you could see that there's like again, Triple G, like he's another one. Canelo. Can't see him doing a job, can you?
Bro, like Canelo face wise doesn't look like he should be the fighter he is, but the second you see his build, you're like, yep.
What you mean, no neck?
Just made for it.
Just no neck, wide, thick waisted.
Thick as fuck. He is so
just
dense.
A tank, and yeah, he really is just an absolute tank. The geezer. That's that USADA approved magic mints, isn't it? But yeah, like the whole fucking throwback thing. Like AJ was calling himself a throwback today, and I was just like, I'm not sure you are. Like you can't not love AJ. I cannot stress that enough.
100% no, not a throwback. And like also someone will say, oh, where do you think AJ ranks in the best heavyweights of history? I'm like, not particularly high. Like,
yeah, he's not, is he? Like,
do you know what I mean? It's like, and you can't. There's nothing to get. You can only fight the people that are there.
Like AJ would get pieced up by Lennox. He'd get pieced up by Frazier. He'd get pieced up by Foreman. He'd get pieced up by Larry Holmes. He'd get pieced up by maybe some of the Spinxes.
Yeah,
he'd get pieced up by
even like Ron Lyles, people like that. You know, it's just shavers, big bangers that are
Ken Norton or something.
Yeah.
Like all of these, like the illustrious, like Sonny Liston. Like you wouldn't fancy his chances against Sonny. You definitely wouldn't fancy his chances against Ali. You wouldn't fancy his chances against any of them. But that's the same with most of our heavyweights. Like Tyson, you could see him being able to compete as a much bigger version of like a Larry Holmes style. But Larry just had something. There's something more to them. There just seems to be more depth. There just seems to be more gravitas to the old. I don't know if it's like nostalgia or something.
I was saying, but also Larry's jab would put a hole in someone's head. So
I watched an awkwardly long video last night of this geezer who, if his mum and dad weren't cousins, like seriously, there's a lot of shit going on in whatever town that he was from. It was bad, and it was like 40 minutes. And to be honest, I'd had enough of watching Anunnaki videos and stuff about the pyramids and about like ancient knowledge and Ripple and cryptocurrency and dimensions and shit. So I was like, I'll have a little bit of this. And this Mongoloid, right, had one hand formally wrapped, and he was going through the deep dark conspiracy of Fury and his gloves in both fights. Right?
Still with this shit.
Still, and it was quite a newish video, but it had like 1 million views. I was like, mate, I need to start doing these as parodies. I need to start just mugging them off, like wearing just one mitten, just being like, oh no, how to do it, right? And it was just like, even down to, I mean, first of all, he had a Phenom glove, and it was just like, well, that's not, no, but it's not. We're not allowed to talk about that. But that's not even the glove that any of them were wearing. And then he had one of the puffin taffin things for the second one. And like it was just unsettlingly shit, because he was like, and if I move my hand up, you'll see that I can do this. but if I move my hand back down, I can't do this. And you're like, bruv, just stop. I felt bad that I watched all of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
I
I
enabled
can't.
him.
Yeah, really, yeah. Same with sometimes I'll find myself like there's that bit of me that wants to trigger my own anger. Like I'll start on the comments and I'll be like, these fucking idiots. And then I'll just keep reading the shit and getting angrier and angrier
Oh,
at
you
what
can't
people
read
are
the
saying on
comments.
other fighters' posts. And I'm just like, why? Like, why? Just they don't
That's
even read it. They know it's fucking bullshit.
on our journey with the Cabal. That has been the most astonishing thing for me. The absolute neg that people have on certain fighters is unbelievable. Imagine what it must be like. Imagine the dark holes of DMs that people just give people. It's just loopy.
Yeah.
So scary. Like, just do anything else.
100. And also too, like when it bothers me, like when Tyler's saying, yeah, the amount of shit. And it's like, no way would you say that shit to him. Do you know what I mean? Like
No,
he's a great guy, but you can't be talking relentless shit. Why do you feel comfortable doing it on a fucking screen? Why are you hating on a guy that's literally living the dream in every fucking way?
you know, my favourite one is to muck about with online is Denzel. Because he puts stuff like of his mates that are grime artists, and I just message him and I'm like, I ghostwrote that tune. He's putting up like all of his too sharp, and I said that I'm called less sharp now. I respect. Tell me that you call me that. The end. Yeah. So we digress because we started talking about Gabe, and then we fell in love with Gabe, and then we've looped. We need to loop back.
Yeah,
So
do love
Gabe
Gabe
was
though.
fighting the Uzbek dude, right?
Yeah.
Beck, whatevs, and
Melakuziev.
it kind of was getting pieced up. To be honest, there was a lot going on. He was very in and out, and he got dropped in the first round with a bit of a decent body shot. But Gabe composed, knows what he's doing.
On that, knows what he's doing. Can we just say, fucking vet took a knee? The amount of fights that get just done
Yep.
because people won't listen. You lost that round. You know, take the knee, recover. Smart because right at the end of the round, so he gets extra rest time. Came out, look, fucking switched it around. It's
The end of that second round, he landed that shot.
yep.
So he had
Because he could
that
see he kept because
going
he
for the
got
body
so
and then over.
that's it. And he got
Yeah.
so happy with the body shots because they're so effective. But then you can't do that with a vet. Like it doesn't matter how well you do something. If you always do it, they'll find your timing. And Gabe is not, he's been in there with the best. You can't be doing the same shit.
What is your favorite type of knockout? Because obviously you got the ones where they stumble about, like the face down ones, like the Nate Robinson, like that. That's like case study one.
That's like King K. I wouldn't say it's my favorite because, for example, when Marquez flatlined Pacquiao, I like shit myself. I was like, fuck, I think he might be dead. Like they're also the most worrying.
It's
Same
the
as
skid, in it.
yeah, it's like the ones where they stiffen up, those ones as well too, or like convulsing on the yeah. There's somewhere you're just like ooh.
There's some of them that won't probably make it to Coof Club because of out of respect, because
Yeah,
some of them are dark, like the Pacquiao one to Hatton, where you just that hit and you like not even just as a like just out of just pure respect, because that hit and you just went, he's not going to be okay for a long time after that.
yeah,
It's like you remember like the Tommy Hearns one when he done Duran. You're like,
yeah.
you're not going to see him for a while. You're gonna have to let that shit heal for a bit. There's a few of them like that. Hmm. Hmm. I like left hooks.
Overhands too. Overhands do the
Overhands are dirty,
business.
aren't they? Hmm. So yeah, Gabe pulled out a big old win. Then there was another fight that was just like this Cobb geezer was just all flash, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
It was all right. It was just
yeah. Man,
Solomon he got caught with a couple of shots. He didn't like he was doing all right, and I just think he hurt his eye, and he was just I'm not getting paid enough for this. I'm out. It really was, wasn't it? It was just like he didn't seem that hurt, but he seemed like he was giving it the eye, and he just I'm out. I'm out. I'm not sure. Oh, KSI Wasserman doing things. We said this, didn't we?
we did. The question, I mean, do we need it? Like, is this high on the? Do we need more Aaron Carters and fucking?
Yes, obviously, yes, 100%. But when I like Jake has got 4 million followers.
Right.
KSI's got like nearly 10.
And that's not their platform either.
No. What is this? I still he's a guy that makes tunes with a geezer from Love Island and plays FIFA. Yes?
Yep.
Congratulations. Like you've won it. You there's like a little sect of these millennials that understand how this simulation works and they've fucking sewn it
Yeah, they
up.
cracked the code. They got all the
They
cheat codes, baby.
really have. I am very impressed with them. And oh, Jesus Christ. It's just very stressful, you know. Like I
They won.
remember, yeah, they really have. I'm not even jealous. I just got to respect it.
That's the thing. You just got to, you know what? Fair fucks. And like, if it wasn't such holy sacred ground as professional boxing, Jake, I'd be like, you know what? Fucking, like, if he had to choose any other sport, I'd be like,
Yeah.
fucking whatever. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But professional boxing is, well, it's not holy at all. It's one of the most corrupt things ever, but we love
Even
it.
now. I want to know the following because the majority of cash is digital in some forms. It's you know zeros and ones in a bank account. There's no physical cash. No one does that anymore. So what happens to these YouTubers? At least the KSIs, the Logans, and the Jakes are doing fight skills. What happens when the elites shut down the internet? Because that's got to be happening imminently. What do they do then? Can't move on to BitChute if there's no internet anymore.
What do
What
all
if
the
they?
models do?
Well, mate, pussy's always valuable. Yes or yes?
Is that going to make the cut, or are we just going to prepare for the fucking shitstorm?
Well, I mean, what shitstorm from who? You know what I mean? That tell me that's not the case. I didn't say Instagram model 10s. I said all.
True.
Is it not the oldest profession?
True.
Have I not told you what happened when they introduced currency to chimpanzees?
Yeah.
There you go. What's the first thing that the female chimps did? Give me grapes. I'll let you run one through me. Thank you very much. Now I'm richer. Right? It's irrelevant. He, she, they, them, the fucking he,
Yeah.
ha, ho. Yeah, whatevs. Did you also see that Ali's grandson is going pro?
I
Now,
did.
he looks like Keith Thurman's son. He doesn't look like Muhammad Ali's son. I do not know very much about him other than he was very clever in not using the Ali name, used the Walsh name. Respect. That must be it's either going to be a really epic upbringing or a really hard upbringing, right? And he's got a set of bollocks on him for doing this because there will never be more pressure, even on like Layla, because Layla was no disrespect, yes, queen, yes, women's boxing wasn't
But
a
it was
thing then.
different. Yeah.
Different, exactly. Like for him, he's gonna have so many eyes on him. It's gonna make Connor and Chris and Campbell and
Pale.
the Hamed kids. It's gonna make them look like nothing compared to being. It'd be like the only one that there's three: Floyd's kid, Tyson's kid,
Yeah.
Lennox maybe.
I wouldn't say so. Like
No,
it should be, but from the general
from
public,
it's them three:
yeah.
Floyd, Mike, Ali. They're the three that people would just clamor to watch. I mean, it could be really cool.
It's
Could
like
be an
Jordan's
absolute
kid if they're playing ball, or like Einstein had a kid and he's like, I want to be a scientist. Like, good luck with
mate,
that shit, man.
Einstein fucked, boy.
Like, you
Einstein did shit.
could not, right?
How could you not? You're the smartest man on the planet. Tell me you don't get pushed from being the smartest man on the planet. Literally, there's no chat. You just go up to her and you go, I'm like factually the smartest man ever. You can suck me off now.
It'll make you smarter.
It will literally make you smarter. Like when Bill Clinton got sucked off in the office and gave her a career.
Yeah.
That's the most powerful blowjob of all time.
Factual.
Like, when you suck me off, you get a book deal. What do you not
Yeah.
understand?
You're an author now.
Yeah. Let me give you some ink, darling.
Hey.
Hey, Bantar. What
Speaking of
else
the
is?
Yas Queen,
Oh, yes.
Clarissa
Ah,
Shields.
go on.
We didn't discuss that on the last one. Had her MMA debut, smashed it.
Oh, yeah,
Well
I didn't
done.
really care that much, you know.
See, this is the thing. I was talking, and I was actually speaking to a female fighter, Amy, who hopefully we'll have on the show, and because she loves Clarissa, met her, said she's lovely and all that.
I'm
And
sure.
I love Clarissa in the ring. I think a lot of what she's, and I get that, you know, obviously you've got to feel like you're the best to do, but to say you're the best ever is a massive statement. And to say it
Mm.
because, yes, in female boxing, she's ruling shit, right? And to cross over sports, fantastic.
Respect.
But you can't compare the levels of competition. What she's done is phenomenal. But to say that because you're undisputed in 2 weight divisions, I mean, it's not so easy to correlate. You can't just say, "Oh, well, yeah, that doesn't happen in the men's," and da 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 da. Like,
She could. I think she would have much bigger an argument if Savannah wasn't around. Right?
but to say you're the greatest, not greatest female boxer, she's saying she's the greatest boxer ever.
Oh no, she's saying the go-wo, isn't she? I thought she was greatest women's. Oh, she changed it now, is she?
Now that's becoming,
Okay,
yeah, she's the.
come on now, come on. Let's just relax on that one.
Because that's a massive statement.
It's just a ridiculous statement. It's an absolutely ridiculous statement. Ask Serena Williams what happens if she starts playing with the men. She's open about it.
Yeah.
Like most sports people understand that equality doesn't exist. The whole point of sports is the opposite of equality.
Yeah.
Someone has to be number one. Someone has to be the last. Fact. Don't be the last. Like Michaela Mayer in that build-up show, Ward asked her, how does she feel about the 2-minute rounds? How does she feel about the pay gap and stuff like that? And she's like, well, they're linked, which was a really good answer. She was like, why would I want to do 3-minute 12 when the pay gap is so big? Now, I'm going to get paid less, so I'll do less.
Yeah.
Now, if you pay me more, then we can talk.
That's
great
good.
Answer.
That's a good answer.
Literally great answer. What more do you want? She's like, I'm willing, because they're doing the super series, aren't they, of the featherweights or super featherweights. Now, I'm a little bit gutted for that because, like, I think Katharina could do some damage in that tournament, but she's moved out of that division now. I think it was just too much for her to get down to 130.
Yeah.
Well,
we need to chat to her again.
Yeah, we need to get her back. She's just training. She's just ready to go.
Living
I'm pretty sure
life.
with like the Sunderlands and the Wasserman thing is probably just. It's just like that. I mean, she must be jaded a little bit, right? Because she lost to Harper, whatever. That ref jumped in double quick. But from what she said, it was like a little bit not. She was very much so the away fighter.
Yeah.
And considering at one point I was arranging my sister to go into the bubble to do her hair for her because there was no one else to help her do her hair. That's rude. Yeah. And shout out Rachel Ball sorted it for her.
Yeah.
Big up. Respect. Yeah. Hope she's all right now. She's been out the game for a bit, hasn't she?
That COVID's a motherfucker.
Oh, Joyce and Takam are fighting. Who cares? Great to see Joyce back out. Gutted that he's got to do this. It's not really that fair.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And then the other thing is, I think that we should start doing our own pound for pound lists that don't include Jake. By the way, I wouldn't have done that to you.
We can. I do hate the pound for pound lists. I feel like they're impossible to do. But yeah, we can. I
mean, I just think it's just an easy layup, isn't it? You just do one a month, pound for pound. Bosh. Probably put Loma back in because I think it's still.
Can't wait to see Loma this weekend.
This weekend is massive. You got Tank. You got Loma.
Yep.
You got Tyler.
Yes, that whole card. I mean, listen, that card 4 title fight. It's
It's a massive card, and we're going to do everything we can to do our first in-person together one. Not sure how we do that logistically, where we do that or whatever, but it ain't that hard.
We'll figure it out.
Unscrew the mic, away we go. You got
Bosh,
anything else, my
bosh.
brother? We've got a lot of guests this week, I think.
Yeah, let's fingers crossed.
I mean, what we got? We got Dan Aziz. Shout out Dan. Looking forward to talking to him. You know.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get Tyler from camp because he's flying to Miami tomorrow. Pretty sure we'll be able to make it work in some capacity. Then potentially Michael Hunter on Thursday. We're just waiting for confirmation of that one. He's a very articulate guy. I've been watching a few interviews of him.
Yeah.
He's quite a fun chat.
Yep.
And yeah, the Troy Williams, we had Troy Williamson on last week, is going on Patreon, patreon.com, fighting words. He did the whole thing shirtless, looked like Cuba, hard in Jerry Maguire, show me the money. He really did.
Yeah, with the chain just topped it off.
Really did. He was just running that shit. Anyway, I love you.
Love you, baby. Bye.